We live right now. Today is June 3rd, Tuesday, 4:31 in the morning. And we're doing pretty good right now. I hope that you're doing pretty good right now. All is well with me. And I think this one's a little different. I have some talking points. But the topic of today is why I still get excited to brew coffee every day. Thought about that for the past couple of days, and it's a good feeling. It really is a good feeling off the bat. Before I look at the talking notes and all that stuff, is that I love brewing coffee because it lets me know that I'm alive. You know, each and every day that we get on this earth, bad, good, whatever it may be, we get an opportunity to to an extent create the day that we want. And there's a lot of outside factors that we don't have a lot of control over in our day, but especially in the morning. Ooh, we get to make a cup of coffee. We get to make it any way we want to. We can experiment. We can try old ways. We can just try a recipe that we tried the day before by tweaking one thing. That is the thing that we can do with coffee, especially making it each and every day. And we don't get that opportunity if we're not alive, right? And I think that's a blessing. I don't say that a lot. It's one of those things to where I do take, you know, something so mundane that we do each and every day for granted at times, even though I can create. But, just having this time to think about why or what gives me the reason to make coffee every day is because of that. That's really one of the main reasons. I think another reason is that why not? It's another day that you can get better at your craft, get better at your hobby, understand coffees even more, and challenge yourself. I love challenging myself. I like challenging myself each and every day. Before I actually do anything, for the most part, I work out. Working out is hard for me. It's something that I don't love. I've been doing it each and every day for the past couple of years. I've seen some growth in me personally, not just in physical, but it does something to where you know that you're going to be doing something every day. You may not see the growth in it each and every day, but something about having that opportunity, that chance to get better, that's what I gravitate to. And coffee is no different. Coffee is something that I always look forward to. And I don't know necessarily that I'm chasing that perfect cup. I don't think anybody, especially doing this for this long, is chasing that perfect cup. It's just more so like seeing what you can make with coffee, right? If that makes any sense. All right, let's see what else we have going for us when it comes to making coffee each and every day. And this is true. No matter if you do the exact same variables, yeah, I mean, you can get similar cups, but not a cup is the same. You may change a brewer, you may change the water chemistry, you may change something that you think that you didn't need to change. But it's different each and every day. It may not be better, it may not be worse, but it is different. And those are some of the things that we have to realize that this is the ball game that we're dealing with when we're making a cup of coffee. We just don't know sometimes what we're gonna get. Sometimes we do. But that's, I think, one of the beauties of making a cup of coffee. It's never really the same every time. It's just like walking a path, right? You walk this path many times, but it's not really the same, even though it is the same path, but you may not take the same steps. You may be thinking about different things. You may be pondering, thinking about life differently, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, that day is unique in itself. And experiencing a cup of coffee, even though you do everything the same, is not the same, right? Brewing is a ritual that grounds me. It truly, really does. And I'm sure it grounds you too. It gives you that opportunity, probably more so by yourself, to where you can make a cup of coffee. You know, which water temperature you're going to try this day. You know, excuse me, you know, probably which beans that you're going to use, your grind settings, and all that stuff. You know that you're given this opportunity to create something. And for some odd reason, those 3 to 5 minutes from start to finish, and then you sit down and actually drink the cup of coffee, that's your time. It's something that I look forward to. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like pour over so much. Because, you know, if you use like a drip machine, not knocking the drip machine, but for the most part, you put the grounds in there and put the water in there. And it's pretty much the same thing that I'm doing with the pour overs or the Chemix or the aerial AeroPress or whatnot. It doesn't really matter. And you push a button. To an extent, it's a little soulless. And when you actually make a cup of coffee, like in a pour over type of style, for the most part, you're present. You're there. You know the steps that it's going to take you to get there. It's a manual process. It's something that anybody can really do. You can use this brewer, that brewer. You can use this water, that water. And you can learn and gravitate and do something manual for yourself in the morning. I think that's the really cool thing about this. And I think a lot of us like that whole preparation part. I think espresso does that for you too. But something about doing something manually, it really does ground you. It does. Coffee does give me a creative outlet, even though it may seem like the same thing each and every day. But I think about coffee all the time. I think about recipes. I think about if something's going to work or not. I think about all these theories that's in my head. But the cool thing, the beauty of all this, because there is beauty in this, is that we can just do it. We can just try it. Like a lot of times I talk to my kids and my wife about things and they're really theory oriented. And I'm like, I get frustrated sometimes, but I'm like, just do it, try it. We can do that every time. Anytime we watch a YouTube video, anytime that we hear some wacky recipe, even if we think about something that's just out the wall, it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. We can just try it. We can tweak this, do that differently. I think that's really cool. And when we're giving that opportunity to create, I think a lot of us realize that we are actually more creative than we think that we are. And I think that's pretty cool. And when we do that and understand things even more so, I think it probably spills into other areas in our lives to where we're like, wait, wow, I can do this. I can think differently. I can instantly think of something and try it and see if it really works. We're magicians in our own right, if you think about it. So gravitate to that even more so. I still have more to learn. I still have more to learn. And I think that's the cool thing about coffee. There's different beans, there's different roasting protocols, there's different harvesting processing that people do. It's different brewers out there, different filters, water chemistry, different experiments, things that do or don't work. I can play around with TDS meters. I can play around with seeing how the weight of the coffee affects probably the taste. I can try around, play around with different extractions and all that stuff. Those are things that I come back to each and every time because I think it's almost impossible to actually figure this thing out. I can get close. I can think that I'm in a place to where I do actually understand the things that I'm doing, and then bam, I get hit in the face and try something different. It's interesting how a lot of times in life we're giving these opportunities to explore, to understand, to try to see if we can be, so to speak, experts. But we can get close. But I think that's the reason why I keep coming back to it, because it's not just brewing in the morning each and every day. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about if I'm on the right track with my logic and my thinkings. And when I do that, I wonder if it's actually possible for me to get to the promised land of mastery. And that's the carrot that just keeps progressing further than you think that you can go. But you just keep trying to get closer and closer and closer and closer. And then it is what it is. That's just how life is, right? And I think that's the cool thing about this whole coffee thing. So, brewing is my version of a morning warm up. It is. I kind of mentioned that in the beginning. It's so true. It kind of gets you going for the day. You test things out. You don't test things out. You just make a cup of coffee. You just sit there and ponder. And I think the beauty of all of it actually is that once you're done making your cup of coffee, thinking about life or thinking about the next step, it gives you that opportunity to see what you're going to be doing for the day. It reminds me that simple things can still be special. Think about that. Making a cup of coffee, it truly, really is simple. Hot water, grounds, either pour over, percolation, drip, immersion, time, press, wait, filtered. That's it. That's it. It's really kind of more so that simple. And sometimes we do go a little crazy. I am one of the ones who go crazy with this, with measuring this and geeking out about water chemistry and trying to understand extraction even more so than the average person out there. But truthfully, it's really that simple. And when we realize how simple it is, I think that's where sometimes the magic can really be, you know? So interesting, right? Last one, last but not least, coffee still surprises me. It does. It really does. And it's something that I don't think I can truly really explain, but something about beans and grinding them and again putting them on water and we're drinking that and we get a buzz or not. I don't really get a buzz, especially in the morning time, but you're tasting something, especially when it's just hits that you didn't think that you can taste all these different flavors, and then you try something different and you probably get something, a variable that's slightly different here and there, but at the end of the day it just keeps you going. Like you're like, damn, this thing right here still surprises me after so long. And you go deep into that rabbit hole and you just keep going in that rabbit hole. And then you think about where you're at in this rabbit hole. But I know one thing for sure is that I'm not thinking about going to the entrance. I'm still just keep going in that rabbit hole wherever it keeps going. So yeah, it still surprises me. So that's why I keep doing this each and every day. I'm sure you probably do that too. So yeah, this is me, Okie at Everyday Beans, talking about coffee. I'll talk to you later. Bye.